This video is on how to write a lowercase p using Fundation's verbiage. And then we're going to talk about the proper way to pronounce it, and then also give you some ideas to help your child if they struggle writing the letter P, which there are actually a couple of different things. So, first of all, Fundation's verbiage goes like this. P is a plain line round letter. It starts on the plain line. Go to the plain line, go down to the worm line, trace back up to the plain line, and curve around to the grass line. P, pan, p. Now when I make the sound associated with that letter, it's p. There's no voice on whatsoever. It's not p. P versus p. So keep it small and make sure there's no voice and no sound associated with it. Typical errors that I see kids most commonly probably is anything that drops below the grass line to the worm line. Kids tend to kind of not want to drop all the way or even not drop at all, so they might make it look like that because they're used to kind of everything being up here. Or maybe they'll drop a little bit, but not all the way down. Also may have something that looks like this, just not where they're not touching. There's quite a few things that can happen with a P. If you have the conversation about the letters don't like to float, that takes care of several of those problems. But when I'm writing a P, I'm going to make sure I go to the plain line. I'm going to go all the way down to that worm line, and it's going to bounce off the worm line. So make sure we touch the worm line, and then we're going to bounce right back up. And then I have to scratch my back, scratch my back, scratch my belly. So I'm going to go around, scratch my back, come around, scratch my belly, P, pan, p. Another difficulty for some students is to know which direction do I write a P. And so, as I've said in other videos, if you've seen it, in my classroom, I have a window on the left side of my students, and that's very fortunate. If I didn't, I would absolutely draw a picture of a window and hang it up on the wall if I did not have a window on that side, because it helps them know how to form multiple letters. So to me, it's very important. You can also just write a little window on the left side of their paper. That's okay too. And then I have an alphabet strip on my wall above my board, and so that both of those play a part in helping kids who might write a P like this. So what we talk about is that is actually sometimes a Q. Let me show you my Q. Sometimes a Q will have a little tail like that, but sometimes a Q doesn't, and it looks a lot like a P. It's just going a different way. And I have these little magnetic letters that I'll hold up and show the difference between a P and a Q. So both of those are Qs, and then look, this is what a P should look like. I didn't form it quite correctly, but and then we just kind of show the difference between a P and a Q and talk about that. So the difference between a P and a Q, when I write a P properly, if I were going to draw a face on it and a mouth and a nose, which direction would my P be walking? Would it be walking towards the letters or away from the letters and out the window? Yeah, it's walking towards those letters, isn't it? And the reason it is because it loves to hang out with letters. And the reason it loves to hang out with letters is because it's so popular. The P stands for popcorn, and all the letters love popcorn. So they love to have popcorn over. And so when P goes out visiting with the letters, they're like, oh, come on in, popcorn. I've got a movie going. Come on in, let's hang out together, right? Or, ooh, I'm ready for a snack. Popcorn, can you come hang out with me? And so a P, when it's walking, it would be facing towards the letters. If I wrote a Q, similar to that, so if I show them side by side, now remember I tell my kids sometimes a Q will have a little tail, but sometimes it doesn't. So we have to make sure we know which direction it's going. So we're going to make our P and our Q look really similar without the tail. Now, this is a Q, and if I put eyes and a nose and a mouth on a Q, which direction is it going? Is it going to hang out with the letters, or is it going out the window? And of course they would say it's going out the window. And I would talk about, well, the reason it does that is because it is the queen, because QU starts with queen as the first sound. And queens are too good for hanging out with the letters. They look at the letters like, You peons, I shall not hang out with letters. They're below me, but they're beneath me. And so the Q, will be walking away from the letters or going out the window. So that's kind of the way I approach the directionality of where you make the loop on a P versus where you make the loop on the Q.